Hey, howdy. I'm back. I had my dinner. To those who didn't see the previous video, this is going to be what is essentially part 2. Because I made it roughly halfway to Rainy Sundial, and then I ducked out. And I went to go get dinner, came back, and now I'm going to go do the second half of that. Though, unfortunately, I did not end up going to, get Italian food. There was a place that I was thinking of that I was debating going to, but it's a little expensive, and also, oh, it's so weird to not hear, Sugar Road. I'm gonna have to go back and, I'm gonna have to go and get the, telephone from Sugar Road by the end of this episode, just to, like, set everything back to the way that it was. So I was originally going to get Italian because there's this one place that I really like. It's a little expensive, but I feel like it's worth it. They have really, really good meatball subs and cheesesteaks. But as it happens, on Monday, I'm going to be taking the team that I'm working with, the like account analysts. They have a bit of an indoctrination for the new people where they put everyone's name on a wheel and then they select someone's name, and then the person who gets selected, oh my god, this looks beautiful. I forget what I was saying for a second. Oh my god, this is really pretty. Whoa. There's downpour, and there's a regular mosaic world. This seems like one of those worlds where I'm gonna have to come back here and explore everything, especially since the RGB spectral passage phone is so close. But yeah, what I was saying is that it seems kind of pointless to go there because I'm already going to be going there on Monday, because I got picked and I picked that Italian place. And it's funny, I did that, and then I texted that to my boss, and my boss responded with, like, oh damn, good choice. Which, awesome. Downpour. There's not a whole lot to see here. Whoa. Shut my mouth. I don't think I've ever seen a world that has thunder like that, that has like thunder and lightning like this. That is cool. And then put a bat here just in case because I don't trust myself. I think this might just be a direct lead into the world. Yeah, there you are. Ooh. Really nice. Is there anything here? Oh. Hang on. Oh my god. Wait. Wow. That's gorgeous. I was about to say that looks like a that looks like a realistic scene in the background. Yeah, and there we go. And now I can look back up and see it in full bloom. Simple but effective. I really like that. Oh. That's a menu theme, I think. Can I, like... There we go. Menu type 67. Nice. And then I think... I'm not actually sure if... I'm not sure if Downpour is a one-way path or not, so let's just go from back to front again. But, I didn't end up doing Italian food. So what I did instead is what I can only describe as guy dinner. It was the most, like... It was the most... I have a bunch of random shit. Because I went to Publix to get food, but I got, like, a bunch of, like, odds and ends. And I had to make myself dinner. So I ended up taking... I ended up taking buttered buns. And I used those as bread, because I couldn't I'd never been to that particular Publix before, and I kind of like ducked in and out trying to find any bread. I saw that they were doing a sale on those buttered buns, and I was like, you know what, screw it. It's on sale because 4th of July. Trying to think, like, top to bottom. So, to those sandwiches, to those buns, to make sandwiches, I ended up adding... Ooh, hang on. I ended up adding avocado with salt and pepper, turkey, which already amazing, American cheese, and then pickles. The pickles were kind of just like a random last-minute addition of like, I want to add more stuff to this, but I'm running out of stuff that I even have around. And there were some pickles that I mean, I don't know if... I don't think pickles expire. Oh, there we go. A regular mosaic world. Oh! Oh, from Snow Black. I remember this place. Yeah, oh my god, I remember. I remember the set of worlds now. I didn't know they connected. Okay, I think I have time for one or two more, depends on where this is. Lost Creek is Lavender Waters. Hell yeah, that should be relatively quick. Can't believe I can say that about Lavender Waters of all things. I was talking with some other people about Doom between then and now, and it made me a little concerned, because, Chapter 4 of Doom, Thy Flesh Consumed, I saw some people say that it's just not particularly fun, and they kind of hated it, which scares me, because I already wasn't a huge fan of Chapter 3, and if Chapter 4 is worse, I feel like I'm gonna hate it. But I'm gonna do it anyway just to say that I have, and just like to give it a shake, because I've started to realize that, like, if I base everything on first impressions and never actually try it myself, then there's so much of the world that I'm never going to experience. So I may as well give it a shot, right? Worst case scenario, I just hate it and I move on to something else. Because, speaking of Doom, and this is a bit of a tangent, I've started listening to more MF Doom. Now, if you've never heard anything by MF Doom before, MF Doom is a very, very silly rapper. His whole shtick is that he is, like, his persona is based on Doctor Doom from the, the Marvel villain, more specifically his appearance in the, like, Hanna Barbera Marvel, or the Hanna Barbera Fantastic Four show. Where he's like, everything in Hanna Barbera is super campy, and the Marvel stuff was no exception, so he's like turned up to 11, very comical, stereotypical villain type. And it's just that, but a lot of the lines are sentence mixed and recontextualized to fit in with being a rapper. So it's lots of sentence mixing about being a rapper and being black and like having a bit of fun with that. And it's good. Like, it is really, really, really good music. Particularly well produced. Because, I'm gonna be honest, I am not huge on rap. However, MF Doom is an exception. And maybe this opens my eyes to some other rap, because I have listened to Pimp a Butterfly before, and I feel like To Pimp a Butterfly is one of those albums that, like, defies its genre, that even if you don't like rap as a genre, you will still probably like T-Pab because it's just a really, really, really good album. And while I'm not saying that MF Doom's stuff is as good as To Pimp a Butterfly, I'd say it had a similar effect for me, where it's like, I normally don't like rap because I don't really like... I don't know how quite to describe it. There's something I never really liked about that kind of attitude, if that makes any sense. It's almost like a show business kind of thing, a very, like, flamboyant, throw it in your face, I'm rich, I'm famous, get over it kind of attitude. It always just kind of didn't really work for me. And a lot of rap is like that. At least in my experience. Maybe I've just had bad experiences, is the other thing. But, and MF Doom is sort of like that, but there's so much just goofy shit in that album. Particularly with the lyrical work, because, I love a musician who can make funny lyrics. I mean, I've listened to Tally Hall and Lemon Demon, and by extension you'll see Suriga as well as his work on Lemon Demon. And now MF Doom, and I'm starting to realize that I like artists who make funny music. And my brother has recommended me a few others with a similar vibe. Like, oh, what is the name of the band? Shit. De La Soul. De La Soul has a very similar kind of thing as MF Doom, where it's like rap, but it's also really, they are silly little guys that make rap music, and it's very charming. And I've listened to some of De La Soul. They have an album that's, unfortunately, I don't think it's on Spotify. It might be. It's been up in it's one of those rap albums in particular are kind of tricky when it comes to whether they're on Spotify or not, because some artists like to drive a hard bargain and some others just don't, are like more willing than average to spit in Spotify's face, basically, for not paying them anything. Like, I think that there was a thing with Snoop Dogg, I think it might still be going on, where he pulled a bunch of stuff that was associated with his record label, Death Row Records. Basically just out of principle, and then I think he ended up putting it back, but I actually don't know. So it might be a similar thing with De La Soul, where they pulled it because it wasn't making them any money. But they have an album that may or may not be on Spotify called 3 Feet High and Rising, and it is awesome. It is a really fun album. The interludes are all really fun, and the actual music is great. They have a cover of a Schoolhouse Rock song. They have a cover of the song Three is the Magic Number. And you'll never believe me, it's good. Like, it is actually a really good cover. And just a good song in general. It is a Schoolhouse Rock song. Like, that's impressive. Though I guess I should probably explain what Schoolhouse Rock is for people who don't know about it. It's a weird sort of artifact of older America, I'd say. Because this is something that would have been, that my parents' generation would have been exposed to, but there's kind of a pretty low chance my generation would have been exposed to it. So Schoolhouse Rock was a set of educational, it was an educational show with an emphasis on songs that teach you things. That's just, like, their whole shtick is educational songs. And they did a whole series about, like, environmentalism. They did a whole series on American history. They did another whole series about, mathematics, and just, like, all the numbers from, I believe, 1 through 12? I think it was 1 through 12. I know they did 1 through 10. They might have done 11 and 12. And in retrospect, especially the American history ones, some of them have not aged the best. A lot of them feel very much like propaganda. Again, particularly the American history ones sometimes. But it's almost to be expected, especially if it's stuff about American history. Teaching about American history in that time period was very heavy on what was basically just propaganda. And in more modern times, teaching about American history has become a lot more holistic and understanding of, like, yeah, some of the stuff that we did was kind of effed up. Shame how that worked out. Oh god. That took a second. I cast spell of slow internet. But yeah, the songs do feel a little preachy sometimes, but they are generally pretty good songs. And my brother and I were kind of indoctrinated, in a sense, to the things that my parents watched when they were younger, because my brother and I grew up right at the tail end of what I would refer to as the DVD generation. Because after a certain point, you'd be hard-pressed to find particularly someone in, like, the later half of Gen Z to the top half of Gen Alpha, or all of Gen Alpha for that matter, who's really sat down and watched a bunch of stuff on CD or DVD. It's just less common because, you know, with every passing year, CDs and DVDs are getting older, and not a lot of them are printed regularly anymore. I can't think of a single series that actually prints DVDs besides intentionally trying to be a hipster about it. But I remember, like, my parents made a concerted effort to show us stuff from their childhood, with like the caveats of, like, some of the stuff might not hold up, some of the stuff might just be flat out racist, so keep that in mind. And it didn't usually get that bad, but only except, like, the stuff that comes to mind, because there was a lot of it as well. There was how we spent most of our time when we were super young, was watching a bunch of these old shows. The first big one for me was The Muppets, which, genuinely, if you have a Disney Plus subscription and you have never watched The Muppet Show before, do yourself a favor and watch through some of them, because they are genuinely so charming. And even though they are pretty clearly designed to be watched by kids, but there's so much just incredibly charming stuff in there. And, like, between that and, the Muppet films are all really cute. People did start to sour on them eventually, just from overexposure, if nothing else. It's like, it ended up being, like, a... Not quite to the same extent as, Marvel Comics. No, right, it's Terra Terror. Not quite to the same extent as Marvel Comics, but in the way of, like, these people will watch anything related to the Muppets, so let's just keep making Muppet movies. Now, unlike Marvel, when your worst Muppet movie is Muppets from Space, that's a pretty decent track record, at least in my opinion. Let's get a quick picture. Ooh, Birch Forest. This should be easy enough. But Muppets is so incredibly good. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so that was one. There's Muppets, there was, a couple of dog shows. 2 different dog shows. One racist, one not racist. The non-racist one is one that I have almost no memory of because it was a pretty small box set. Super Dog, I believe was the name of it. And it was, like, basically cute. I remember it was, like, I remember kinda liking it. The other show was Droopy by legendary animator Tex Avery. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Tex Avery, but Tex Avery is known for 2 things. The first thing that he's known for is absolutely amazing animation work. Like, he is one of the best animators of that era. The other thing he's known for is his flagrant racism and misogyny. So, oops. So that was, I'm sure that was interesting to explain. And I would know, I was the one that had to be explained to. Because there is a lot of stuff in Droopy, like, you go back and rewatch it, and it's, like, very apparent. And you go back, there is this, a very famous Tex Avery cartoon that's actually in the Library of Congress. Oh, shit. Coffee Cup World. Hang on. Yeah, let's go through Graveyard World. That should be faster. Right? Yeah. So, Droopy is very racist. There's this amazing question mark animation by Tex Avery called Magical Maestro that's actually in the Library of Congress. Like, it's very well respected. It is also really, really, really racist. But, like, you know, if you keep that in mind and you just go in with that in mind, it is a really good cartoon and it has a lot of great gags. It's just unfortunate that a lot of the gags are, like, really racist. There's that, there's, oh, right, it's not this one. There's another little goober, it's up here. Oh, right. God, it's been so long. Is it Child? I forget what you need to do with this. It is Child. Very ominous. The next show that comes up that we ended up watching a lot of is there's a couple of Hanna Barbera shows that we ended up watching. Some that you might not think of. One of them was Scooby Doo, which um can I just say, when you're like, it definitely doesn't hold up super well when you're an adult, but as a kid, Scooby Doo rocks. It is a really good show when you're. It's a really good show as a kid. Like maybe that's just me, but I have a lot of fond memories of Scooby Doo, even when I know full well that it is not the best show in the world. It's like there's a lot of parts of it that are very especially going back and rewatching it, that they cut hella corners when they were making that show, and that goes for most of Hanna-Barbera's stuff. Does that mean it's bad? No. In fact, I feel like that adds to the charm a little bit when there's just a massive glaring error. And it's just, oh, right, there's just a huge error here. That's funny. It's never done from a place of like intentionally wanting to mislead people. It's just in a place of like it's almost like a Roger Corman kind of thing of like these were done on the most shoestring of shoestring budgets because that was the best way to make money with with a show like this, is to just do it on as little expenditures as possible. But it does lead to a lot of funny moments. Am I been going the right way? I don't appreciate... Okay, there we go. I don't appreciate how bright this entire map is. It's so easy to get lost. To the people that are using this as a sleep aid and are currently getting bombarded by the bright lights, I'm so sorry. Maurice Labyrinth is just kind of like this. Okay. But yeah, Scooby-Doo, excellent, excellent, excellent show when you're young. The shine kind of wears off as you get older, but again, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it's still fun. There was that. There was, Pink Panther was also really good. Especially, like, I forget the right term for it. I think the term is, the proper term is, like, Mickey Mousing. But, like, the soundtrack that, like, travels alongside the characters as they move is so good. And, Pink Panther is one of those shows that did that really well. Because, like, the soundtrack just rules. But, there was Pink Panther, and then along the same lines as the Pink Panther, there was a different show. A show by the name of The Inspector, which was, I'll admit it was a weird one, but it was surprisingly good. I remember actually quite liking that show. Okay, I'm lost. I'm very lost. Okay, that is definitely a mark to look for. Oh. Wait, is it right here? Oh, sad. I saw that blemish and I thought that that was the blemish next to the hook leading over to Rotten Fish Lake, but it doesn't look like it is. Yeah, this is what I thought I was looking at. Um... Man, I just got my ass just got Omereased. Uh, shoot. Okay, I'm running overtime again. I think I'll keep yapping and then I'll go and reset the Sugar Road connection. And then that'll be it. But yeah, the Inspector was surprisingly good. I ended up quite liking it when I was younger. There's so many ways to get here. Let's go that route. Let's go through Red Street Light World. So, the Inspector was really, really good. Maybe it's my nostalgia showing here, but I ended up very much enjoying it. And then by the same token, one of my uncles ended up giving us just a huge, like, multi-box set of Looney Tunes cartoons. And I'd be lying if I said a large percentage of my sense of humor came directly from watching those Looney Tunes cartoons. Because they're good. They're quite dated, but they're really good. Genuinely very funny and charming. I need to turn this off. There we go. I've already done expeditions to Rotten Fish Lake before, so it's not the end of the world. Underwater forest. Oh. Right, I also could have gone through Drains Theater, but I think this was faster. There was Bugs Bunny, which... The thing about getting a box set is that it was a greatest hits. So most of the stuff that was in there was really, really, really good episodes. A lot of the classics of like Duck Amuck and What's Opera Doc and what am I even thinking of? Duck Amuck and What's Opera Doc and Duck Dodgers and the, oh god, what was it? 23rd and a half century? I forget the exact name of it. But so many of them are such dated references. I don't know anyone who actually knows who Buck Rogers is these days. I sure as hell didn't. There was another one. There was another episode that was like Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd go to the far future of the year 2000, and that always got a great laugh out of me. That always it gets me a good laugh out of me now and back then of like, oh, good lord. It's currently, I'm currently watching this and it's currently like 2008. Nice. Very prophetic there. That we're now 9 years past the far, far future of the year 2000, where you predicted that there was going to be robots and, aging and, robots and death rays, and there would still be, daily magazines with such article titles as, like, Bing Crosby's horse still hasn't come in yet, and Smell-O-Vision replaces television. It really is a product of its time, but hey, it's still a good show. Mel Blanc is still an amazing voice actor. Like, even to this day, he's one of the best. Okay. I think I'm going to have to go in a bit of a roundabout way here because the direct passage to the phone is going to be blocked off. So I think, yeah, if I try to just walk straight down, it's not going to give. So how do I actually get here? If I remember correctly, you can, like, go down and around and then back up, I think. Yeah, it's like this. This is the threshold, and then I think I can go down and around. Oh, wait. Is this it? This is it. But yeah, I watched a lot. I watched a lot of shows when I was younger. I actually didn't watch too much. I didn't watch a crazy amount of YouTube. Maybe that's why it turned out so weird. Not that I'm complaining, but that's all I got for now, I think. But thanks so much for watching, y'all.